going on, guys? Roger here with QVO Tactical. In today's video, we are checking out an up-and-coming new company that we had the pleasure of meeting a couple of months back at TriggerCon. At that event, we got to check out their well-built quality upper receivers, and now we are out on the range shooting them. Of course, I'm talking about the Aegis Weapons 12.5-inch mid-length upper receiver. As always, I'd like to tell you guys how I go about getting these products in for review. While out at TriggerCon, I had a meeting with Jay, the owner of Aegis Weapons. Jay mentioned that he was a fan of the channel and he offered to send us one of the upper receivers to feature in a video. Jay and I had a conversation about his business, and I like the ideas that he had for his company. Aegis Weapons did send us this upper receiver free of charge to use in this video and for future content. So guys, please keep that in mind as you watch this video. Now, we'll be sure to jump into the exact specs of this upper receiver at the end of the video, but for now, I wanted to jump right into the range footage. So as always, we recorded our first rounds through the gun. All right, guys, out here on the range getting our first rounds through this Aegis Weapons mid-length 12.5. It's a very windy range day, but still happy to be out on the range. I got some 55 grain loaded up, just some basic 55 grain range ammo. I'm gonna shoot 10 rounds, target's only like 10-15 yards away, just to get a feel, see how everything's kind of working together here with my my Balios Light 2A receiver. So here we go. Nice, let's see how it does. Woo! Super nice. I can feel the muzzle device doing a little bit of work. It's going slowly, lightly down and left, but then returning right to zero so that I can just take those follow-up shots. Boom, 20 rounds, locks back, we're holding good there. We'll go down here and take a look at the target. I have not zeroed, I got the EOTech on a riser, and we haven't zeroed it yet, but I mean, it's holding pretty good. Aiming about here, so I'll have to bring it over left and up a little bit, but we'll also zero at 50 and not 15 yards. But yeah, digging it. I'm gonna have Gil get his first rounds through it, see how the upper's feeling for him, and then we'll go from there.
Man, to me it feels really smooth. I mean, there's like no recoil on this thing. It's just super flat. I'm digging this.
All right, so we're shooting from this table for the first round. There's a target, guys. I just want you to see the ejection pattern. Everything is coming right at 315. Got a nice pile of brass right there. So the system, the mid-length is definitely gassed very well. Definitely something you're looking for, you know, in your premium upper receivers. All right, guys, so lots of good feedback from the first initial rounds. The first obviously being that very consistent ejection pattern. Something else that we will get into later on in the video was how well the heat is contained with that taper profile design of the barrel. Now, next up, we did get a solid zero out of 50 yards with this EOTech EXPS. We're good. If I'm hitting 6-inch steel at 50, we're good. I'll probably just come one left, down two, and leave it alone. After getting zeroed, one thing that I like to do in order to get a better feel for the weapon setup is to run some build drills. This is going to allow me to see how the gun is recoiling naturally and then figure out where my red dot lines up again on reset, and then how fast I can take those follow-up shots. Threw one super low, 140. Definitely can speed that up. It's 5 alpha, 1 delta. There we go. 1 Charlie, 5 alpha, 124. Nice. Looks like all alpha there for a 119. Let's go take a look. So muzzle device definitely doing its thing. It's keeping the gun flat. My first string of fire had 1 delta, brought it up, finished the other 5. Second string was 1 Charlie, and the last string, all alpha.
.177. Let me try to speed that up. Go again. Oh, that was sloppy. 5 shots, 172. Let me go again. 151, ran out of ammo.
What was your best time?
151.
So 151 was your best, and you only got one Charlie out of all of them, dude. Good job. Again, very nice and consistent ejection patterns with both bill drills, and while firing several strings of fire at a fast pace, we are still not getting any uncomfortable heat along the handguard. Now, it was at this point during the range session that I was really noticing that the gun was not heating up. So in an effort to get the gun hot, I decided to dump a couple of mags at an accelerated fire. Nothing. Let me get another mag. Handguard's fine, guys. So that's 4 20-round mags, bump fired through, you know, high rate of fire, and this thing is barely warm. Able to grab it, don't need a glove, can still come up, transition if I had to, so I definitely dig that. When we shoot in the summer, guys, guns get super hot, you know, not just from being, you know, the gun itself, but because it's hot out here, so it's nice to have one that I know the handguard's gonna be fine with or without a glove. And one other thing I want to mention about the upper, guys, so the way that they're doing the barrels in-house, the taper design that comes from the chamber forward, they have it set up to where it absorbs the majority of the heat back here at the chamber. Nobody puts our hands back here when we're holding the rifles. We all have, you know, our C-clamp cool guy grip out here, or where your attachments and your pressure pads are and stuff. So it is significantly warmer here just after the chamber. However, it is still, as you guys can see, I can hold it no problems, but you will notice that it does get a lot warmer here than it does out here. Like this out here is practically cool now, and it's just getting the residual heat from here at the chamber. So something I think that is definitely different than anybody else is doing out there on the market. Like, I'm sure you guys have shot, you know, those guns that get super hot and you can't even, you know, grab onto your pressure pads or light switches or activate your accessories, but that is not going to be the case with the Aegis Weapons upper. We also ran some target transition drills with steel targets ranging from 30 to 50 yards out. With this upper receiver being well balanced and the Nox muzzle device keeping the gun flat, these drills were pretty easy, even on the mini A-Zone 6-inch steel target out at 50 yards. Man, it is just nice when a gun stays super flat. Total time, 5.64. I had one miss on the tiny A-Zone 6-inch steel, so I went back to the paper to finish it off. 8 rounds total. Let me go one more time. Man, that little guy keeps getting me. 588, same drill. Missed the 6-inch steel, went back and then hit it. Cool, let's get you up here, Gil.
6.28. Man, that little guy kind of gets you. Oh my. Oh.
What's the reload?
15.38. We'll just ignore that one.
All right, guys, now we have a special treat for you, something a little different that we don't typically do here on the channel. Typically, most manufacturers just send us their products for us to have here on the channel. It's very seldom that we can actually get the manufacturer themselves to come out and be involved in the filming process. Jay of Aegis Weapons, he actually lives out in Southern California, which is only about 4 hours away from us here in Las Vegas. He explained to me that he had never shot a short-barreled rifle, nor has he ever shot anything suppressed. So I invited him to come out to Vegas and to be part of this video. All right, guys, something a little different and a little special for you in this video. This is Jay of Aegis Weapons. He is the founder, the owner, and him and I were talking. He only lives 4 hours from Vegas. I told him, hey man, this weekend we're gonna be filming, you know, the video on your upper receiver, and why don't you just come out and shoot it with us? One of the main reasons I wanted to do this was because during our conversations, you told me you've been in California your whole life, and he's never shot a suppressed weapon. So I figured, well, this has, you know, the Sons of Liberty Nox device, which works with the Camo dead air Camo adapter. I have that on my YHM Turbo. So I figured first suppressed rounds out of this gun should be from the man himself that put this upper receiver together. So with that being said, dude, get your first suppressed rounds, your first quiet freedom rounds ever. So we just got some 55 grain on it, and again, YHM Turbo 3. Go for it, bud. Yes, sir. Mag dump the whole thing. for it. Dump it. It's got a nice 230 ejection, 2 o'clock. It's good.
Freedom. This
Right?
is real freedom right here.
Nice, and lock back. So let's see. Quick 20 rounds. Handguard is fine, easy to hold. Yeah, that thing's solid. All right, so we're gonna run a few drills, suppress now. What'd you think, man? First time ever shooting suppress? You need to move?
I need to get out of
I've been
California.
telling him he should come out to Vegas, leave LA. So,
I would come just for this.
escape from LA, bro. All right, let's shoot some suppressed. All right, guys, same drill from before, but now suppressed. Here we go. There it is. 625, let's go again. Nice, there we go, my first clean run. 366, 5 rounds total, 4 different targets. I think I got enough for one more. Here we go. I cheated and just kept shooting the last one. This thing is sweet, man. And again, not even warm at all.
Oh my God. What's going on? Okay, that was just really bad. 14.57. I don't know what was going on there. Do it again. .91. Just missed that last one. A lot better than the last run. Woo. Harder than I thought.
Total time?
Total time 8:91.
Let's go again. Nice.
488.
488. So, first time shooting suppressed, first time shooting SBR. How's it feel?
I feel like a free man, honestly. I would move just for this. I mean, I wish California could change, and we're working on it. I feel like we're making progress, but this is nice.
All right, guys, so one thing I'm really fascinated by is how the handguard isn't heating up even suppressed. You guys want to know, look, I set it down on the table. You can see that the can is hot. The rail is not. So I got a little bit of plastic from the table on there, so that you guys know the gun is hot. I'm going to just dump this real quick. Boom. 20 rounds, quick as I can, and this thing all day long. It is not hot at all. It's a little warm, if that. That is very appealing to me because we shoot a lot of suppressed guns, and now I know, like, this was the second one we did. I just did one of the mag dumps just a second ago, and I was like, let me do one on camera, and I want to see if it heats up. And again, a little warm, but very, very manageable. So that is a huge plus to me, guys, and something that I want in my upper receiver. Now, before we hopped off the range, guys, I wanted to take a minute on camera with Jay and have him explain how his company started and to share a little bit of his story. All right, guys, so while we're out here on the range, I want to take a moment to just have Jay share with you guys kind of how the company Aegis Weapons started. We were talking at TriggerCon, and I shared with him about how QVO started, and I just wanted him to share, you know, with the audience here that's checking out the video about how you guys formed. So take it away, man.
You know, Roger, thank you so much for having me on your channel.
Of course, man. Appreciate you coming out.
For a long time, but truth be told, I've been in the business industry for quite some time. I do fashion, but firearms is actually what my passion is. So I kind of wanted to take my my leap of faith and try something that I have a passion in. And being out of California, we face our restrictions, and it's a little bit difficult for me in my current state to make full-fledged rifles. So I wanted to focus on the other really important component, which is the upper receiver. So, we source some of the higher qualities that I much respect, and they do things right. And some of the parts that I kind of wanted to focus on, we manufacture those ourselves.
Yeah, so like the barrel you guys will hear me talk about the taper profile design. That was insane with how it dissipated the heat. Very, very, very cool. And I know the other real big focus point was the gas system for you. And I know you were telling me a little bit, like, guys, you guys know I like to shoot guns. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of questions, a lot of emails like, hey, what about this spec on this component of this part? I'm not that guy. I'm not a specs guy. Jay was breaking it down for me, but when he was talking about the gas key, for their bolt carrier group, what they're doing is like they're hand truing it to make sure it's super flat, and that is preventing, the necessary amount of leakage that people are getting in their BCGs, and what that's doing is making it so finely tuned. This entire range session, unsuppressed, perfect 315, 330 ejection every single round. And then when we were shooting suppressed, all it did was jump up to about 230. So, hey, kudos to you, man. Like, not a lot of people are going to take the time to take a BCG apart and then hand true it, make sure it's really flat and prevents, the most amount of leakage you can. So, I appreciate you coming out, dude. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I also wanted to have Gil give his final thoughts on the Aegis Weapons upper receiver before we left the range, and also give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview at a possible collaboration project with Aegis Weapons down the road.
All right, guys, some more thoughts on the upper receiver. Not only was it super flat to shoot, but it was able to stay cool in comparison to other guns we shoot on Rodder's channel where it gets super hot and you have to put a glove on. This one, I was still able to manage everything with just my hand.
All right, guys, so in the weeks leading up to today's shoot, I have been bugging him incessantly with text messages and DMs of different carry handle uppers. So when Jay came out this week, he surprised me with their first variant of an A2 upper. So kind of break down the specs. This is 12.5?
12.5 mid-gas.
12.5 mid-gas, so pretty much just like we just got done filming on the Aegis Weapons upper, but in a carry handle retro style using Centurion's M-Lock rail.
Yep.
So you guys all saw my my cool tiger stripe orange gun that everybody's been asking about. So same rail is there. Now honestly, it's the same exact specs as the other one.
It is.
Just in a carry handle A2 variant. So actual A2, guys, no A3 bolted on. The carry handle is part of the upper receiver. So is this something that might become a reality?
If you want it.
Yes, do you guys want it? That's the thing. So if we were to get Jay to make 50 of these at a price point, give us like high-end ballpark. Nobody will hold you to it, just
Maybe like 1,300.
So if you guys were able to get a full upper for $1,300 in, what you guys just saw, same performance as you guys just saw on the range, but in the carry handle style, is that something you would be interested in? So A2 carry handle as well as the front sight block. This is super clean. I dig it a lot, and we can shoot it, yes? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, man. Dude. Yeah, so guys, comment down below, let Jay know if you want to see the Aegis Weapons. We were talking about this, might do a possible collab.
Yeah.
So if we were to do an Aegis QVO collab, A2 retro modern upper, is that something you guys would be interested in, a price point around $1,300? Let us know. You guys, you're the ones that create the demand. So if you're there down in the comments saying you want one, we're gonna tally it up and see what we can do. Thanks, guys. All right, now that the range footage is over, guys, let's hop into the studio and take a look at the specs on these upper receivers. The Aegis Weapons complete upper receivers are built to order with a variety of options found on their website. For our exact setup, we went with the 12.5-inch barrel and mid-length gas system. The upper receiver features a cross machine tool 11.5-inch HDM handguard and a Sons of Liberty Gunworks Knox muzzle device. You'll notice here the taper profile design of their barrels, which are made in-house. They feature a finely tuned gas port for reliable suppressed and unsuppressed shooting, as you just saw out on the range. The barrel is chambered in 5.56 NATO and has a black nitride finish. Now, in an effort to improve gas efficiency, they flattened and trued the surface of each gas key and then applied by hand a gasket between the key and carrier. They are then torquing these to spec using optimized carrier screws, and they also properly stake them. It is fine details like these that make the upper receiver perform so well while shooting it out on the range. We shot a little over 650 rounds, suppressed and unsuppressed, with no malfunctions whatsoever. Like I said earlier, you can hop on their website and order these upper receivers built to your specs with a build time of about under 2 weeks. Aegis is offering everything from short PCC upper receivers all the way out to full-length 16-inch rifle setups. Now, one other really cool thing about Aegis Weapons is that when you order one of these upper receivers, it's going to come with an armor certificate. This is going to list out all of the parts in detail along with the torquing specs. It will also have information about the ejection pattern and a chart explaining that information for you. As you can see from my chart included with my upper receiver, it had the ideal trajectory of 4 o'clock. I originally thought this was like 3:30, however, Jay did correct me and explain that these are tuned at 4 o'clock and that is the ideal ejection pattern that you want. You'll also notice at the bottom of the certificate, Aegis Weapons warranties their product for life, including wear and tear. Now, guys, when I see all of these high-end quality components, the amount of detailed work that goes into building them, and then the lifetime warranty that's attached to them, it immediately translates to expensive in my mind. I was actually shocked to learn that this specific upper receiver is priced at $899. Adding on that muzzle device and charging handle, of course, is gonna bring the cost up. However, if you're like me and you already have a suppressor, then you most likely don't need the muzzle device from Aegis, as you're gonna be using the one that is designed for your specific suppressor. Now, my overall thoughts on these upper receivers are that you are definitely getting your money's worth. Quality components that are well put together by someone who is passionate about what they do gives me confidence in regards to the function and reliability of the platform. Also, firing 650 rounds with no issues whatsoever gives me a lot of confidence in the setup as well. I think that the price point is very fair, guys. Now, you could easily pair this with a PSA Saber lower receiver, which we reviewed earlier in a different video, but that lower receiver is gonna have a nice trigger, quality Radian components with it, and you're gonna have yourself a very capable and quality rifle now at a price point of only like 1,200 bucks. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, $900 definitely isn't cheap for an upper receiver, but I've also come to learn in my experience that cheap is typically not good. I've also used other upper receivers priced much higher than this Aegis Weapons one, and they aren't as balanced, nor do they produce even half of the heat mitigation that this Aegis Weapons upper receiver did for us out on the range. Shooting this thing with all those mag dumps and suppressed, I was really blown away with how well it kept the gun cool. So you guys have seen in other videos that we've recently done where we had to put on gloves and stuff like that, and it's just nice to have an upper receiver where that isn't going to be an issue whatsoever. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Again, big shout out to Jay of Aegis Weapons for making the trip all the way out here to Vegas and for providing this upper receiver for the video. We really hope that you guys out there watching this video will go and support Jay and Aegis Weapons if you are in the market for an upper receiver. Also, please let us know if you would be interested in that A2 carry handle variant that we gave you guys a sneak preview of. I definitely think that that collaboration would be very fun to do. Guys, we appreciate you checking out the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, especially if you're new here, because we post new videos every week. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.